I allowed my oldest daughter to go see this. She was 14 at the time, so she was in high school, a freshman in high school, and her friends were going to go see it. And she was like, hey, can I go see Doctor Strange? And me thinking, it's Marvel. She's in high school. Sure, go for it. She called me immediately after that and was like, Mom, I should not have seen that movie. That was scary. Don't let Micah go see it. Like she's very honest and she's a very good kid. Yeah. So she'll come and tell me like, I should not have been there. That was not.
She's also kind of a BA.
Yeah.
So like daughter. That. Yeah. So that if she was scared of it, then it's scary. Welcome back to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Bearded Blevins.
I am Katie, Mrs. Ruby.
And we are diving right in again to the Marvel Cinematic Universe Part 2, Post-Blip.
Part 2. Now, that last episode was so long, I would not be surprised if they didn't break it up into 2. So we might be on Part 4 of this.
Maybe even Part 5.
We might be on Part 82.
Like I said, we should have just done them all.
It took us so long.
You can skip the rest of this episode by just knowing that you should start watching the Marvel movies when your kids are 12 years old and watch one a year until they die. What?
John is so ridiculous.
Yes!
Anyway, so we are talking post-Blip. Now,
which hero do I remind you of the most?
Oh, sorry. Which hero do you remind me of the most? Yeah. Drax.
What? Are you serious?
He loves his wife and his daughter so much. His whole existence is about avenging his family. Also, he's ridiculous, and I've seen more of his body parts than I would ever care to. Ask me about seeing John's toes every week.
Okay, well,
John,
you are like, I don't even know who you're like.
Sorry.
You know who you are?
Who am I?
You're Spider-Man.
I'm not offended.
You're Spider-Man.
I'm delighted by that.
100%.
Good.
Like playful, wanting to like be friends with absolutely everybody at all. Yeah. See?
Gosh, I want to be friends with everybody.
You're like Spider-Man. Oh my gosh. It just came to me. Okay.
Yeah, I do want to be friends with a lot of people.
But that's good. Yeah, you're a good friend.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Post-Blip.
Post-Blip. So the blip. In case you're not familiar, if you're not a Marvel person, the blip is an event that occurs in the Infinity War movie. Yes, where Thanos gets all of the Infinity Stones, snaps his fingers, and half the population, fish, humans, birds, everything.
Octopi.
Octopedes.
It
comes from the Greek. That's the whole reason I do that, just for the record, just so we're all on the same page. It comes from the Greek, so it would be octopedes.
Fun fact, they are proof that aliens exist. They're aliens. I legitimately believe that. Have you ever seen the camouflage thing? Is insane. They are legitimately aliens. They came to our planet, but they were water dwelling on their former planet.
Sure. I went to there's an octopus farm in Kona.
Okay.
On the Big Island, and they can't get them to breed in captivity. Like they haven't been able to breed octopedes. They have to live in the ocean for that, and they can't figure out what they're missing to make them breed. So it's this whole thing. Anyway, you can touch them. They're like in little tanks, and you can interact with them, and it's so cool. And they tell you the very first rule is do not scream and yank your arm away. And I put my hand in, and it was like it got all the way up to my elbow, and I went and yanked my arm away. And my husband was like, "There was one rule."
One rule, and you broke it.
I broke it. Anyway, so the blip is where the half the population gets blipped out of existence. They're gone for 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame, in which they're all brought back. Spoiler alert. They're all brought back by the Avengers at the loss of Iron Man, who dies in the process. And after the blip, a lot of our heroes go away. So Captain America goes back in time and allows himself to age naturally so that he can be with
a heart-wrenching scene.
Yes, and comes back as an old man and passes on his shield to Sam, the Falcon, previously the Falcon, now Captain America, to continue the legacy. So a lot of the older characters have kind of passed away. They're not in the universe anymore, and now we are going into the next generation. A lot of this content was released on Disney Plus because it ran into the pandemic, and so they had to kind of rework what they were going to do, and move it into the Disney Plus realm.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where we are. That's what we're talking about. It's kind of anything post Endgame.
Yes. If you're just seeing this now, you can go listen to the other episodes where we did the pre-blip as well as the Marvels movie that just recently came out.
Yes. So when we're looking at this, we've got there's not really a clean way to break it down because it's not as much content. So it's not like a clean Spider-Man. I would say our ratings from the previous Spider-Man still carry into the post-Blip Spider-Mans, but we do have some different stuff. So did you get an opportunity to see any of the stuff on Disney Plus?
Yeah, I've seen most of it,
Yeah.
except for like the last few months, anything that's been released in the last few months.
Okay.
Because we've been busy watching other content, so we could do Is This for Kids.
So much Is This for Kids. Yes. So much content we're watching for you. Just love you so much. So when we're talking about the stuff that's on Disney Plus, it feels a little bit more like it's meant to be watched with parents or it's meant to be watched after kids go to bed. A lot of the post-Blip content for me feels like not for kids. It wasn't meant to be for kids with some notable exceptions. So like WandaVision came out during the pandemic. I thought it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. It was super friendly for kids. It kind of went through different eras, like starting with an I Love Lucy kind of feel and then ending in a Malcolm in the Middle sort of feel. So it was very, very good and very much for kids. What did you think?
So I'm with you. I think it was good, and I think it's fine for kids. I just think that my kids would be super bored.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say like 10 and up, like I have been for a lot of the Marvel stuff we're talking about, just because even I was like, really, like the I Love Lucy stuff.
I loved WandaVision. I thought it was
I did
cool.
too. At the very end, I really appreciated it. But the first few episodes, I was kind of like my wife too was like, "What are we watching?"
Yeah, it was confusing, but it was original.
It was.
It was very
funny,
creative,
well acted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pretty appropriate for kids.
Yeah, pretty much. Then there's some films that are, or rather not films, series that were released that have kids in them, like the Hawkeye, Miss Marvel. All of those things came out on Disney Plus, and it felt like they were trying to bring in a new generation of Marvel kids. But for me, the Hawkeye movie or the Hawkeye series was a little too dark. I would put that in middle school range.
I'm with you there, 100%.
Yeah. And then Ms. Marvel, though, which is you kind of have to see it in order to understand the Marvels, which was one of the feedbacks that I gave during the Marvels episode.
Which explains why I maybe didn't love the Marvels as much as you did.
Because you didn't get a chance to see it.
Right.
It is the whole backstory behind Kamala Khan and who she is and how she got her powers and things like that. It is extremely kid friendly. But for me, as I've given this feedback a couple of times before, because it is somebody close in age to the kids, that they're more likely to emulate the behavior than they would if they saw it from an adult, I would put that as a middle school, late elementary kind of.
Is it as wholesome as she is in the Marvels?
It's so wholesome.
Because her character is awesome in the Marvels.
It's extremely wholesome. Her love for Captain Marvel is adorable. The whole thing is great.
All right, cool.
Yeah. But then when we're looking at the movies that showed up in the theaters, notably in this one is the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And I know you have strong opinions here.
That's the second one, right?
Yes.
That's a horror film.
It is.
I mean, like dead serious. It's scarier than Five Nights at Freddy's, which we've reviewed before. Yeah, it was super dark. It's clearly like meant, in my opinion, for like high school and up.
Yeah, I allowed my oldest daughter to go see this. She was 14 at the time, so she was in high school, a freshman in high school, and her friends were going to go see it. And she was like, "Hey, can I go see Doctor Strange?" And me thinking, it's Marvel. She's in high school. Sure, go for it. She called me immediately after that and was like, "Mom, I should not have seen that movie. That was scary. Don't let Micah go see it." Like she's very honest and she's a very good kid.
Yeah.
So she'll come and tell me like, I should not have been there. That was not.
She's also kind of a BA.
Yeah.
So like
daughter.
that. Yeah. So that if she was scared of it, then it's scary.
Yeah. That means that it's scary. Like she's not a wimp. She's not a easily squeamish child. She just thought I needed to be older for that. She's like, you wouldn't have liked it, Mom. It was too scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that one.
So you're with me, like high school?
I would actually leave Doctor Strange for adults only, and I don't know that it needs to be. I don't think it's necessary to the whole storyline. You get the multiverse understanding by watching Spider-Man.
Right.
So I feel like you're okay to skip that one if you want to. If you're not like it's billed as a horror movie. They are telling you it's a horror movie. That's what genre it's classified in. So if that's not your bag, don't go there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. And most importantly to me, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Should have been rated R. Not actually. Like it should have been rated PG-13.
Yes.
But they should have just gone all in and made it rated R, so it would be even funnier, and then have just like no qualms about it. Because I would not let Micah watch it until they're like 14.
That's a high school movie for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be, because there's so many things about it that make it a great movie that kids would love. Mm-hmm. But it just feels like I don't know. Can Chris Pratt really be a part of anything that isn't like that? That's like good for kids under 12. Like he's just so funny.
We have a very different opinion of Chris Pratt.
Have you? Oh, you have to watch Parks and Rec outtakes.
I have watched Parks and Rec.
The outtakes.
Not the outtakes.
Oh, the outtakes. No. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He is wildly inappropriate and super funny.
Yeah.
Like he's one of my favorite actors.
Okay. I would put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in the middle school range, but like with an asterisk. There is, if your kid is impressionable or sensitive, I would maybe wait till high school. But it should be fine. There is some alcohol abuse, or I assume it's alcohol abuse. Like at the beginning, he's very much mourning the loss of Gamora, who isn't dead thanks to weirdness. But he's very much mourning that, and he's swears a lot. He appears to be drunk. I don't think they ever make it clear that he's drunk, but like it seems that he's drunk, and not in a healthy, fun way either. Not that there is a healthy, fun way to be drunk. Shit, you know what I mean. Anyway, so there's that, and then there's some animal abuse concerns that are pretty.
Oh, that was fine.
Oh, my little heart.
The animals should be treated with care and respect.
Well, especially sentient animals.
Yes.
Yeah, who can build scary rocket devices.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, when we're talking post-Blip, I think that we kind of agree that those movies are more, you need to be sitting there with your kid when you're watching them, or I would put them at the youngest I would let a kid watch those by themselves would be middle school.
Yeah.
And then you got to kind of play them by ear. But the specific ones that we pointed out, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, those are ones that I would specifically say be very careful.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's funny because we talk about this a lot, that when you let your oldest do something, your younger kids are going to do it sooner.
Yeah.
So like for us, our kids don't really play video games yet. As soon as we let the 8-year-old play video games, which is probably really soon, the 7-year-old is going to be playing games too.
Yeah.
Right. My 8-year-old did fantasy football this year. So did my 7-year-old.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. And so this isn't a great science, but like I still do love my idea of like when your kid is 12, when your oldest is 12 or your middle is 12, just start watching in chronological order the Marvel movies like once a month. And just once a month, just watch one. And over the course of a couple of years, you'll get through the whole, Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you'll be able to just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. By the time you're at Endgame, your kids will be 25 and you have 16 grandkids.
No, that is not. There's not that many. How many total movies are there?
I don't know. It's
because if you watch 12 a year, there's not 40.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why didn't they remember these? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's before the blip. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. We've got 32 movies, not counting any of the series.
So that's like 3 years, 4 years.
Not counting any of the series.
Yeah, fine, 4 years. They'll be 16.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
All right.
I'm going to try that.
I like where your head's at.
Thank you.
I think it's funnier if you just like hole up for 2 weeks and don't let your kids out.
And just do that all
They come
once.
out and they're like, I think I am Spider-Man. I think I'm Spider-Man. Like they're just totally messed up. All right. Well, there is just so much content out there that we got to navigate as parents.
I'm Jonathan Beard Blevins.
I'm Katie, Mrs. Ruby. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids?
Is it?